The wind sweeps low across the empty fields of Hamilton County, Illinois. The road is long, flat, quiet, too quiet. Then you hear it. Hoofbeats, faint at first, steady as a heartbeat, then louder, closer until the ground seems to tremble beneath your feet. You turn, but there's nothing there. And just when you start to breathe again, something flashes by, a blur of motion, cold air slicing across your face. A rider on a dark horse, coat whipping like black wings in the wind. For a split second, you see him clearly. Only one thing's missing. He has no head. Today, we're heading into the rolling farmland of Hamilton County, deep in southern Illinois, where far more than a century, locals have told the same story. A headless rider galloping through the night, still searching for what he lost. This is the legend of Lakeys Ghost. The story begins in the early 1800s when a man named James Lakey settled near McLeansboro. He was a quiet man, a farmer, proud of his land, his horse, and his reputation. Some called him hardworking, others called him bitter, but everyone agreed on one thing. He was stubborn, like many of us. And like many small town tragedies, what happened next began with a feud. No one remembers exactly what started it. Some said it was about money, others about a woman. The story that stuck was this. Lakely had fallen in love, but she married another man. On a stormy night, witnesses saw Lakey riding off into the dark, muttering that he'd set things right before morning. He never came back. The next day, searchers found a horse grazing near a creek bed, the reins tangled in the bush, its flank splattered with blood. A little further down the trail, they found Lakey's body. He had been decapitated, his head torn clean off, and never recovered. Whether it was murder, accident, or something darker, no one ever knew. But whatever happened that night didn't end with Lakely's death. Not long after the funeral, travel the back roads began to hear strange sounds after dark. The rhythmic gallop of hooves, the creak of leather, the rush of wind, as though someone was riding hard just behind them. They turned to look and see nothing but empty road. Then came the sightings, a black horse pacing travelers under the moonlight, its rider broad-shouldered, wearing old-fashioned clothes, but where the man's head should have been, there was only shadow. Some said they heard a voice call their name, soft at first, then rising to a scream that vanished in the wind. One farmer's wife claimed she saw the headless rider stop at her gate. He leaned forward as if to speak, but she fainted before he could. By morning, the gate was open and the trail of hoofprints led into her field, but none came back out. Over the years, historians and storytellers have tried to explain it. Some believe Lakeys Ghost is just old folklore, the kind of tale settlers carried with them from Europe, where stories of headless riders were already legend. Others think it's real, that Lakely's death was covered up and his ghost became the town's way of confessing guilt. Hamilton County's archives even list reports of a headless ghost seen along Benton Road dating back to 1878. But the strangest part of this all is that the sightings never stopped. Even today, truck drivers on the back roads between McLeansboro and Dahlgren claim to see him, a shadow in the mirrors, a rider galloping behind them, matching their speed no matter how fast they drive. Others report sudden cold air rushing through their cars, or the smell of wet earth and smoke and the scent of a storm that isn't there. One man in the 1980s swore after passing the headless rider, he found hoofprints burned into the asphalt the next morning. Edges were still glowing faintly like embers. Whether it's imagination or something older, Lakely's ghost keeps riding. The legend of the Headless Horseman didn't begin in Illinois. From Ireland's Dullahan to Washington Irving's Headless Horseman of Sleepy Hollow, these stories share the same truth. They're about souls cut off from the voice. With a head, a spirit can't speak. It can't rest. It can only search. So maybe Lakely isn't galloping through the night for revenge. Maybe he's just trying to find the piece of himself that was stolen. Here are 3 creepy facts to haunt your day. Hamilton County's folklore registry still lists Lakely's ghost as an active legend with sightings spanning over 150 years. In many cultures, headless ghost myths stem from the belief that the soul resides in the head, meaning decapitation traps the spirit in between worlds. Locals still report phantom hoofbeats echoing through the fields on foggy autumn nights, and most often near McLeansboro and Benton Road. This one doesn't feel angry, it feels lonely. The image of a man riding through the dark looking for what he's lost, it's more sad than scary. It makes me wonder how many hauntings are really just grief that got stuck. Maybe Likely isn't chasing anyone, maybe he's just searching for peace. And maybe that's what most hauntings really are, echoes of people trying to finish something they never got to say. So if you ever find yourself on a back road in Hamilton County and you hear hoofbeats pacing your car, don't speed up, don't look away, just whisper, "Now you can rest now." You never know who might finally hear you. From love to loss to legend, Lakeys Ghost remind us that not every haunting is born from rage. Some come from heartbreak, and those are the ones that never stop writing. Until next time, stay curious and always, always stay haunted.